Okay, so his first question was, you had mentioned after your previous fight that both your hands were broken?
Yeah.
So you're fighting, it's
no, my hands weren't broken. I got my hands wrapped like around 4 o'clock earlier that night, and my hands were, I kept having to take my gloves off and on, they're going numb on me.
Yeah.
And my left hand, I broke my previous fight against Luke Stewart, and I did it in a fracture in that hand, but you have like loose bones, right underneath your metacarpal and your hand. Anyways, the bones in your wrist, they're like stacked on top of each other, so my whole wrist was numb. So I thought, when I took my glove off, my hand was, swelled like triple the size, so I was for sure it was broken. But they were just out of place, and they just put me under anesthesia and put him back in place.
Brutal.
That's how it was. But yeah, well, thank God it wasn't, just got like a little slight fracture on my left hand, and which didn't need any surgery, nothing like that, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
So that's cool. So basically, your hands weren't broken, but you had kind of shit moving around in your hands, and you had to get it all replaced, like could have put back, right?
Yeah, it was nasty, man. It was like,
and so,
it was like, you take those hospital, those surgical gloves and blow them up, on your hand. It looked like that. It was weird.
Wow. And so how long afterwards do you have to rest those up before you can even start using them again?
Yeah, you hit something.
About probably, taking some, cortisone shot, some injections in your hand so you don't feel the original fracture. But I'd say just, 2 weeks, 2 hard weeks, and then I'm really starting to really pop with my left hand. So I'm ready to go right now.
Wow. Okay, so they're back into tip-top shape. They're ready to go. There's no concerns at all with your hands?
For training or for the fight?
No, hell no, man.
Good.
You can't take a fight against Nick Diaz. He's got a questionable paw, so
right.
No, I'm ready to go.
Wicked,
okay, cool.
Wicked.
So then the next question from John, John is hogging all of our question time. But whatever, we're good guys.
Yeah,
so all right,
it's a good interview.
Right, exactly. So John wanted to know, which is actually one of my questions as well, which is you're coming up on the next Strikeforce. The headline is a women's fight.
Yeah.
It's Gina Carano and Cris Cyborg. What do you think about that, other than the fact that it is awesome marketing? How do you feel about that headlining a show? You've got a women's fight headlining a show that you're on.
Great question.
And you're not headlining.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. Not one bit. It's great for marketing, but the last thing I want to do is say anything to get in trouble with, Scott Cole, because he's the man, and, the guy's, self-made person. But, I don't know, just, the fighting and, after I think before girls' fights coming.
Yeah. I
don't know. It kind of bothers me, but what are you going to do?
Well, but it's cool that you're on. It's like, I know what you mean. You don't want to rock the boat with them, but that's one thing I think people like about you, Joe, is that you say what you feel. You're able to come out and say that without being offensive, but it's a good thing. I
don't know like Gina Carano, and I don't know too much about the other girl, but I'm sure it's gonna be a great fight. And something that they should put that in the first fight of the night. First fight on the main card.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're great fighters. Just, I don't think I'm alone in my thoughts here. I think it's, I think, mine and Nick's fight should be the main event.
Yeah. Sure. I don't think you're alone there. Yeah, you're right.
Well, you know what? And here's a situation where it's the first time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
We'll see, and the end result is we're going to see what happens, right?
Right.
Did Scott Coker? It's going to be a great fight.
Well, it's going to be a great fight, and we're going to see Gina Carano lose. But
you think?
Oh yeah, I think Cris Cyborg's going to take her apart.
Cyborg didn't look that good in her last fight, at all, against that little
She's
girl.
Already started cutting weight for this fight.
Yeah, I guess.
But here's the deal: you're going to see this. It's happening for the first time, and it's kind of like when you see, the coach or the manager of a major league team of some sort make a decision. And then everybody kind of waits to see what happens, because if it's a good decision and it works out really well for for the sport, then and for women's MMA, then they're going to say he was a genius and it was a great decision.
I'll predict you'll never see it again. I predict you'll never see this again.
And that may be the case. And that's the other side where everyone said Scott made a huge mistake. Everybody was right. It's not the right thing. Put it on the main card as the main event, and so on.
I don't even. I'm not sure. With the best case scenario, what's the win here? What are they, they're looking to, I don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But, you know, it's going to be fun. Hey, but let's talk about your fight.
Yeah.
Now, you know.
I do. Well, I want to go back and say that I don't want to defend Scott Coker's demand, and you know, it's either way, it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be a great fight. So I just want to get that out there. I don't want to.
You know,
anybody.
That's interesting too, cool. Because everybody who deals with Scott Coker has great things to say about him.
Yeah.
What's the story there? Like, is he really that good of a guy? Is he really that driven and hardworking, loves the sport, takes care of the fighters? Because that's what everybody says.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. You know, Scott Coker. He's been in this game for years. You know, I mean, like, you know, he's like, you know, starting off, you know, in kickboxing and whatnot. But yeah, man, he's you know, he's a promoter that's for the fighters, and that's why he gets so much props. You know, because he takes care of the fighters, and you know, and I think a really cool thing, he doesn't give anybody free fights. You know, he makes every fighter on his roster fight. You know, so you always see good fights. So,
yeah,
that's another reason why I like him.
You're right, man. There's been some great ones. You just came off a great fight on the last one with Baroni, and tell us a little bit about that fight. Like, you guys, you know, were not buddies going into it. Did that play into it? You know, as you went into the second and third rounds, how did you feel? Just tell us a little bit about it.
It was a fun fight. You know, I mean, fighting a guy like Phil, you know, who tends to get himself a little riled up, and I loved it, man. It was a fight. It was a fight, you know, which I thought I grew as a fighter and myself, and it was fun, man. It was a fun fight to be in, and a fun fight to, you know, watch back on and watch it.
Yeah, and you earned a lot of fans that night for your fight and your guts and the things you said after, and your family, everything. I think that was a great fight for you, and this one's going to be another big one for you, man.
Yeah, man, it is. I think from here on out, man, I mean, it's all, you know, I mean, I'm a prize fighter, and that's you know, it's big fights. I mean, this is one, you know, a lot of people want to see this fight for a long time.
Yep.
Cool. And now you fought Nick Diaz twice already, right? Once in the UFC, and you won. I didn't get the results. For some reason, I can't find the results online about who won your second fight in the hospital.
Yeah, dude, that's controversial, man. Who knows? With that fight, man, I'm sure Nick probably said he won. I said I won. It was you know, one thing I underestimated him that night. I didn't think that motherfucker would actually come up and punch someone in the hospital. That was mistake number one. I mean, I underestimated how fucking crazy that son of a bitch is, but he's fucking nuts.
Yeah, and how did it unfold? You just said a few things when you saw him wearing that hospital gown, and he took a few swings, and then it went from there?
Well, dude, we're, I mean, after the fight, you know, I was like, you know, before they announced the victor, I knew I'm pretty sure I'd won, and I was like, you know, good fight, yeah. And then, you know, after the fight, I was backstage, you know, I was like, you know, I fought good, but I thought I could do a little better, and then he's like, fuck, let's go again, bitch. I was like, what the hell? And then, so anyway, he kept talking shit, and then we're back at, then, you know, we're back at the hospital, and, you know, I'm getting my hands checked on, he's there, you know, getting stitches, whatever, and he keeps talking. I'm like, dude, let the fucking fight go, man. Fucking fight's over. Let it go. Fucking, I mean, come on. And he just wouldn't shut the fuck up. Mouth run his mouth. And then I think that he just lost to Diego before that. And I had an IV in, and I had my little my fucking little stroller. You know, when you have your IV, you walk with.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm walking. I'm like, hey, it's 2 in a row for you, fucking bitch. You know, go back to WC. I said something like that. And, you know, one of those remarks. I mean, and anyways, and I kind of turned around. I had a cup piss. I was handing the doctor. And then turned around, and I started, I kind of feel someone, you know, walking up next to me. I look around, and fucking bang. Hit straight right down the fucking, right down the old beak. And he dropped me, you know, fucking, he dropped me to my knees first shot, and, you know, I fell right into like a double leg, and then I tried to pick him up. Then we were fighting for like 5 minutes after that.
And so, what are the people in the hospital doing? Like, are they screaming? Are they trying to get in the middle? Are they watching?
Was fucking nuts. There was this nurse that was like fucking just fucking like it was a horror movie. Like fucking, she was squealing. And we were going out for like 5 minutes. They were just letting us go at it.
Which doctor or nurse wants to step in, right?
Really.
But I think it's kind of odd. You left out the part that you had his girlfriend bent over a gurney and you were giving it to her while you were saying that shit.
Yeah.